Hello, and thank you for checking out another episode of the Screen Facts Podcast, a production of Jason Davis Voiceover. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com/podcast. We have all different types of merchandise available if you'd like to support the show and show your love, and if you want to get more information about my voiceover services. I'm Jason Davis, and you are?
Sue Mandzik Davis.
And we are here to discuss A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, so major spoilers in this episode. So if you've never seen the original A Nightmare on Elm Street, first of all, why are you listening to this podcast? And second of all, where have you been for 41 years? And third of all, go watch it and then come back and listen.
We'll wait for you.
Written and directed by Wes Craven. This movie was pretty groundbreaking for its time, I think.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cast. Heather Langenkamp as Nancy Thompson, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, John Saxon as Lieutenant Don Thompson, Ronnie Blackley as Marge Thompson, Nancy's mother, Amanda Wyss as Tina, Nick Corey as Rod, Johnny Depp as Glenn.
Not just Johnny Depp as Glenn, but in the credits it says, introducing Johnny Depp.
Indeed, his first film.
His first film.
His hair was glorious in this movie.
Gosh.
Let's get that out of the way too.
That was amazing hair.
Yeah. This movie had a very small budget.
How small was it?
Anywhere between 1.1 million and 1.8.
And there's a lot of effects there that they had to pay for.
They didn't have a lot of money delegated for the effects. I think maybe $57,000 was what I read or something like that.
Now, does effects include all the makeup and everything?
I think so, yeah.
The fire and the marshmallow steps?
The marshmallow steps.
Amazing.
Yeah, $57,000 was allocated for the effects. They did a lot of cool stuff with $57,000.
They got it done for sure.
Yeah. This movie was released by New Line Cinema. This was like one of their first movies, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They've since grown into a pretty decent-sized studio.
Yeah,
They do mostly independent kind of stuff, but...
but that's a name you see a lot nowadays.
Yeah. So the studio became known as the house that Freddy built because the success of this movie was what eventually kind of helped New Line develop a reputation and
there you go.
Make more movies.
Yeah, that's very cool. So Robert Shea was the producer, and he was the head of New Line.
Oh, okay.
They went to the Katja Institute for sleep, right?
Yes.
Katja. And I'm looking at that sign going, that is a very specific name. Like, what's the deal with that?
Okay.
So I looked it up, and it turns out that Katja Shea was the daughter of Robert Shea.
Oh, okay.
So they named the Sleep Institute after her.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I love Easter eggs like that in movies. That's very cool. So speaking of the scene at the sleep study place, the actor who plays the doctor, Dr. King, Charles Fleischer, do you remember what his claim to fame is?
Roger Rabbit, right?
Yeah, he's the voice of Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger
cool.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yep. And he has a very small role in Back to the Future 2 as well. Apparently, we're not the only ones who celebrate this movie.
Really?
The National Film Registry selected it for preservation as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant in 2021.
Wow. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Okay. You know I have to talk about the mom. You know I have to talk about Marge.
Yeah.
First of all, the first time I saw her, I grabbed my pen and I wrote down, Mom's hairdo equals werewolf mullet. Because it had like this crazy swoopy thing to it. And then it was like all back in the back and everything. I read that Ronnie Blackley would get kind of dissatisfied with the hair and makeup crew and just kind of walk away and just like get herself together. At times her hair was just like, wow, who did it and ran?
It's all starting to make sense now because I thought maybe it was purposely she was looking disheveled for the whole movie because she's a raging alcoholic.
Well, yeah. And she's, falling apart because she's keeping this secret.
Yeah.
I mean, when Nancy says to her mom, like, you knew it and you didn't tell me. I'm sitting there like, Mom, you suck. What is the matter with you? You should have told her this. Instead, she's like, oh, no, you're making things up.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting performance. Mm-hmm. Ronnie Blackley, I don't know if it was before this or after this, had been nominated for an Academy Award for something.
Stop it.
I'm not stopping. I'm continuing.
Wow.
Yep. I think people are like, she was a method actor or this, that, whatever. First of all, her roommate was the secretary for Bob Shea and Wes Craven. So her friend actually helped her get the audition and try out and everything. And Craven initially thought that she was, you're never going to believe this, too young for the part.
What?
Right? But here's the thing. She actually said to him, look, I'm 38. I'm going to be 39. I'm certainly old enough to have a 16-year-old daughter.
She comes off as much older than
Doesn't
that
she?
on camera.
But
I think it's just the way she's acting.
And, well, plus it's, the werewolf mullet. It's the crazy makeup. It's the distant stares. It's the outfits.
Yeah.
But also, I think 38, 39-year-olds in the 80s looked a lot older than 38, 39-year-olds nowadays.
That's probably true, actually.
Because I'm looking at her thinking 50, easily.
Yeah.
Not in a mean way.
No, just like and I think you're right. I think it's the way she's made up.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, just everything about the way she acts and stuff.
Well, yeah.
To be clear, we're not putting down...
I'm not tearing her apart.
We're not.
No.
It's just, when you watch the movie, it's hard to look past the stiffness of the acting a little bit.
Yeah. Well, she said that her character's behavior was a reflection of trauma, which makes a heck of a lot of sense if she was one of the parents who rounded Freddie up and burned him, right? That's traumatic.
Yeah.
She said that her portrayal of Marge as detached and often intoxicated was her interpretation.
Okay.
She saw Marge as a woman consumed by guilt and trauma over the killing of Freddie, and that manifested as alcoholism and emotional withdrawal.
All right. I guess so. These were choices.
Yeah, there were definite acting choices.
Yeah. Well, maybe couple that with a little clunky dialogue, and then you get in a performance and you go, yikes.
Yikes. Yeah. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for rehearsals and shootings just to see her pulling out stuff and seeing how the director reacts.
Here's the other thing, too, that we should consider. As I'm thinking about it now, minimal budget. They don't have a lot of takes that they can do.
That's right. They were trying to get it done in 31 days or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So,
if you get through off book, it's okay, let's go.
I mean, I'm sure they did more than one take of things.
Yeah.
But they're not going to belabor the point because, let's face it, nobody's watching this movie for the mom's performance, right?
No. You want to see the slashing going on.
That's right. You want to see Freddie do his thing.
That's right.
There were some pretty ingenious things that they did in order to pull this off. So let's talk about some of the effects.
Okay.
Freddie's glove is a big part of Freddy Krueger, right?
So cool. And it's so cool how it shows him making it and stuff, too.
So they had what they called a hero glove, which was full metal, brass, copper, hardened steel.
Yeah.
That they used for close-ups.
Yeah.
Obviously...
Sharp
and dangerous. In fact, so dangerous that if you were wearing the glove, you could cut your forearm if you made a fist.
Yeah.
So then they had a glove that they would use for the action scenes that had rubber blades and stuff.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, from what I was reading, even that, although a lot safer than real knives, could cause some damage if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So the makeup took about 3 hours to apply. Is a lot less than 10.
I was just going to say that's a heck of a lot better than a werewolf.
Right, which we talked about in the last episode.
Check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah. I feel like as these movies progress, now the other thing we should mention is that there were 9 of these movies total.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, there were 6 A Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Okay.
Then there was A New Nightmare, which was very interesting.
That was the one that was really meta, right?
Yeah, it was where the actors were being stalked by Freddy, which was kind of cool. Freddy versus Jason, and then the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street with Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. But yeah, I think as the movies progressed, the makeup sort of evolved a little bit.
Okay.
It got more and more realistic looking because they had more money to work with.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is a lot of times when Freddy appears, it was a little dark or whatever. It's not like you're seeing him, outside in broad daylight either.
That's true.
So probably, the lighting and all of that created the cool, shadows and everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the sweater. Originally, they were going to do a red and yellow sweater because of DC Comics, but then they changed it to red and green because they found out that those two colors together are the most jarring to the eye.
Yeah, I think they're opposites on the color circle.
Okay.
But that kind of makes you question all sorts of things that, we see that are red and green, like in December, perhaps.
Hey, wait a minute.
That's interesting, isn't it? The colors of Yule and other holidays. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, so some of the other effects that were really cool. So there's 2 big kill scenes in the movie where there's a lot of blood, right?
Yeah.
So the first one is Tina's death.
Yeah, she's the first to go.
Freddy drags her up to the ceiling and is dragging her around the room and then swinging her around.
Flailing her around.
Yeah, and then she, Freddy swings her and she hits Rod and he gets knocked over and stuff. And then the other scene is when Glenn gets killed.
Right.
He's in his
Gets
bed.
like, sucked into the bed.
Sucked into the bed.
And then like this whole geyser of blood just shoots out.
Yeah. So they used the same room for those two scenes. It was a revolving room. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So they built a rotating set.
Yeah. And it's like almost on a crank, right?
Yeah, like one person was able to rotate it themselves.
I mean, that is engineering.
The crew was actually connected to the set.
Yeah. And they were like strapped into their seats and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they could rotate with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to give the illusion that, she was being on the ceiling, it would
Yeah.
just turn everything upside down.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
The blood geyser, as they call it,
Yeah.
scene when Glenn dies. Instead of using fake blood, which is a little thicker, they actually just went for red dye colored water to make it just completely over the top, like a fountain. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. Super, super cool.
500 gallons of fake blood or blood-like fluid was used over the course of the movie.
That's where the budget went.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Between that and the makeup and
that's
the
what you
fire.
want in a slasher movie, right?
Yeah.
So at one point, she gets Freddy downstairs into the basement.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, she decides to throw gasoline on him or some sort of flammable liquid and then lights him on fire. I'm thinking, setting a fire in a house that you can't get out of is probably not a great strategy.
Yeah.
But eventually, her dad busts down the front door.
Yeah.
And she said, he's down there, he's down there. And then she realizes that he escaped from the basement.
Yeah, because they see the fiery footsteps.
Yeah, which is very cool.
Very cool.
The way they did that was they had a gel that's flammable that they lit on fire for the footprints, which is pretty cool.
I did always wonder how they did the marshmallow steps. I mean, they must have cut holes in there and filled with something yucky.
It actually looked like marshmallow.
It did, right?
Yeah.
Can I give a shout out to that house in general, though? Especially in the beginning when you're getting all the establishing things. Her and her mom in the kitchen. I'm looking at the curtains in there going, aw, 80s. Even the bathroom, the hallway, like just all the decor gave me a very warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feeling. The scene that's in her bedroom, I mean, there's a few, but so one of the first ones, like before she has Glenn come and then he falls asleep on her because he's, just too tired.
Right.
But I'm looking around the room and I was like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my room a little bit. The small black and white TV.
Right.
Right? Because who didn't have
Right.
a small black and white TV in their bedroom?
Yep.
For all, 9 channels or whatever we got?
13?
13? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
A poster of the police.
Right.
Which I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. But
Made
you know
sense
what?
in 1984.
You know what she had in her room that I didn't, and I was super jealous?
A puppet?
The phone.
Ah.
Her own extension on the phone. In the scene where she calls across the street and Glenn's mom answers.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the landline phones going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
A world without cell phones. They couldn't just call or text each other.
It was important that they had a landline because there's actually a scene in the movie where she rips it out of the wall because she gets scared.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, great. Now, what if he tries to call kind of thing. And then, she has the phone out of the wall on her bed and it rings and then it's Freddy calling her.
And she holds up the wire. And
in
1984, you're watching this with 1984 eyes. You are freaking out.
Yep. You're going, uh-oh.
That's
Good.
impossible.
That can't be good.
That's impossible. How can that happen?
That effect when it's like Freddy's mouth on the phone, very cool.
Yeah.
And the tongue licks
Yeah,
her.
very skeevy.
Yeah.
And the other thing I did not have in my bedroom, I don't know if I would have wanted it in high school, but I definitely would have wanted it in college, would be the coffee pot under the bed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so, obviously Nancy's trying not to fall asleep for fear of getting killed.
She takes awake. I guess they couldn't call it stay awake. And mom cleans up, mugs and the urn part, like the pitcher pouring part. She thinks she's got everything. And the minute she walks out, Nancy's like, oh, look, I have one under the bed ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm thinking, how are you not smelling that coffee brewing?
That was the other thing, too. She said that she hadn't slept in like 7 days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if you don't sleep for 7 days, you're going to be completely insane.
Yeah, and she said, well, I read that the record is 11 days.
I missed that.
Yeah,
okay.
7 days no sleep. Record is 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you made some notes as we were watching.
Yeah, a couple of little things. For example, if I see something that looks familiar, I try to think like, oh, did they use that somewhere else? The bridge that they were on where they had those, what?
Styrofoam containers, yes.
1980s. We don't care about the planet. We're keeping our food cold containers.
That's right. Or hot.
Or hot.
Yeah,
How
in
does
this
it
case.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the bridge going, that looks familiar. And my first thought was role models. So I actually did a little Googling on my phone, and it was the same.
How do you like that?
Apparently, in Los Angeles, they're called the Venice Canals. Like the neighborhood is called Venice.
Oh, okay.
There's these bridges, and they've been used a lot for different filming.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw that in a romantic comedy at some point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I watch chick flicks. Go ahead and hate me. I don't care.
Don't you judge him.
That's right. I was telling you to write stuff down because I wanted to make sure I brought it up on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
After Glenn was killed.
yeah, so after Glenn was killed,
The question was,
the lieutenant says,
what did the coroner say?
and then the cop answers the lieutenant. He said, I don't know. He's been in the John puking since he saw it. What a great line.
Yep.
And then there was the scene where there was a basement in a basement.
Yeah.
I think that was a dream sequence, right?
Yeah.
The way I justified it was she saw herself running into her basement and then from there went into
Yeah, there was another door and then
Right.
a whole other set of stairs, and it
Right.
led down to the
boiler room.
boiler room.
I think when she's in the English
class, yeah.
the teacher played by Lynn Shay, she was in There's Something About Mary. I think she was in some of the other Farrelly Brothers movies too, but she was also the crazed religious mom in the Kiss movie, Detroit Rock City.
And there's your Kiss reference.
Same reference as the previous podcast, American Werewolf in London.
That's right.
So yeah, that's a great scene when she falls asleep in English class.
And she looks out and she sees Tina all bloody inside the body
Yeah,
bag.
and then she runs into the hall monitor.
Yeah. Screw your hall pass.
Yeah. And of course, the hall monitor's wearing the Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger sweater.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to be Freddy.
Right. And then,
Very
Tina's
cool.
getting dragged off and leaving this bloody trail, and she follows it.
Yeah. And what did you say about your best friend?
I said, I love Kathy, but if her bloodied corpse showed up in a body bag and was dragged away, I don't think I'd be following the trail.
You know why? Because you're smart. That's kind of a trope for all these slasher movies.
Yeah, so the audience can be going, don't go there.
Yeah, people have zero common sense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, anytime you see her investigating something, you're thinking, oh, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. As far as slasher movies go, this one has a decent amount of substance.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's literally just people getting killed and maybe boobs.
Right. And isn't it the girl who doesn't have sex or show boobs or whatever ends up being the last girl?
Maybe.
That's the one who survives. There's Tina having sex in her mother's bed. Ew.
Well,
and then
I mean,
she's the
it's either
first
that
one
or
to
a
go.
car, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
And let's talk about the parents in this movie. We talked about Nancy's mom.
Right.
Tina's mom.
Right. And
You
that
know,
boyfriend.
Yeah, and that's why Tina's by herself. So Glenn and Nancy go over to Tina's house to stay with her because she's, rattled from all the
Yeah.
nightmares.
And she's what, 16, 17?
Maybe.
I mean, I know it's the 80s, but I don't remember people like my friends being left alone at that age.
Yeah, her mom was in Vegas with the boyfriend, is
Yeah.
what the cops say.
Yeah. And when the mom comes in to check on her the first time,
Yeah.
like she's all disheveled and her lipstick's all smeared.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend comes in and, his undershirt and he's like, you coming back to bed?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. It's
Yeah, so you
terrible.
know that these kids have definitely got troubles, too.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was another fun thing. When Nancy and Glenn are at Tina's house to keep her company, he's making up some story to tell his mom that he's by his cousin's house by
Yep.
the airport.
Yep.
And then he plays the sound effect
Sound
tape.
effects.
And then, of course, it's like gunfire and an accident.
Yeah. It's like, it's really loud. Oh.
Yeah, that's funny.
And again, I'm thinking, 1984.
Yep.
It's not, there's Where's My Kid app on your cell phone.
That's right.
We never did stuff like that to our parents.
No.
Tell them we were going somewhere and then just go someplace completely different.
No, never.
No.
That's ridiculous.
Never.
Who would do that?
I don't know.
What kind of a hooligan?
But speaking about the parents, Nancy's mom was part of the parents who
Hunted down Freddy.
hunted down Freddy and burned him.
Right.
Was her dad part of that?
I never really thought about that because he's a police lieutenant. So
Right.
if her mom is part of a vigilante squad that killed Freddy Krueger,
However
and he's
many years ago that was, we don't
yeah,
know.
and now maybe he wasn't a cop at that time. Or,
Maybe? That
Yeah,
was
that's dark.
That is one note I wrote down thinking, wait, what about the dad? Was he one of the parents?
Yeah.
Because the mom just says, a group of us parents. And you're like, oh, parents.
She's like an even more sedated Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. He can't hurt you. He's dead. Mommy killed him. We were both like, oh boy.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting character.
Yeah.
For sure.
What a neighborhood. If a house is on sale on Elm Street, don't buy it.
So let's talk about the ending of the movie.
Okay.
Nancy turns her back on Freddy, thus taking away his power, seemingly.
Yes. And she says, you're not real, you're a dream.
She says, you're shit.
And I take back the power I've given you.
And by the way, that's a great metaphor for life.
It is.
I don't want to get too philosophical here while we're talking about a slasher film, but I think in real life, most of us give too much energy to things that don't deserve it.
That's true, especially negative things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So she turns her back on Freddy. She calls him shit.
Yep.
And then he disappears.
Yeah. And you're like, oh.
And then
oh my
she
gosh,
opens the door
she
to her
did it.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Seemingly opens the door to her bedroom, but then it's actually the front door.
Yeah.
It sort of transitions into the front door, and it's a bright, sunny day.
Yep. And doesn't she also say, I want my mother back and I want my friends back?
Yeah, she says that before she turns her back.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, and I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this, when she, opens the door and it's the bright, sunny day, she kind of looks at her arm and there's no scar,
Yeah,
there's no
it's
blood,
healed.
there's no scar, and her mom is chipper.
Sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think I'm ever going to drink again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
wow.
good for you. So then,
Yeah, it's like all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. So Nancy goes down the walkway, gets in the car with the gang.
Yeah. They're all fine.
And it's a nice convertible. And then all of a sudden, the drop top comes over. And strangely, it looks like Freddy's sweater.
What?
And it locks and the windows go up and the doors lock. And the car drives away seemingly on its own.
Yep.
And the mom's just waving, like thinking, this is great.
Yeah.
And then Freddy reaches through the little window and pulls mom through.
Yep.
Great ending.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how you do an ending.
That's a denouement, baby.
There you go. I think for a movie that's a very specific genre, slasher movie.
And a specific period of time.
Yeah, I think it holds up.
I do too.
There's definitely stuff that's dated in there, but for one thing, there's not gratuitous nudity.
No.
There's gratuitous violence, but it is a horror movie.
Right.
So overall, I think definitely worth watching every Halloween time.
Definitely.
Well, if you have a movie that you'd like us to talk about on the podcast, you can email us, screenfacts@yahoo.com. Or if you want, you can follow us on Instagram, ScreenFactsPod. ScreenFacts with Jason Davis is a production of Jason Davis Voiceover. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com for more information about my voiceover business. Also, if you're interested in getting merchandise and showing your love for the podcast, you can get details about that at the website as well. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
1, 2,
Freddy's coming for you.